Hi, this is going to be one of those videos that hopefully makes you think. I've been seeing these little flags to celebrate the upcoming Independence Day for this country, 4th of July. And on these flags, it tells us 250 years of freedom. "250 years of freedom." My question is real simple. Freedom for who? Who's the freedom for? Based on what many in my generation went to school in the 70s and 80s, we've learned that Christopher Columbus came, the Pilgrims came, and from that, the Native Americans who were here in this particular country, the land was taken from them. And some of the descendants of that time are now in reservation camps. Let's call it what it is. They're in the reservation. They had this whole land, and now they're in a reservation. You have people who were sent from Africa by the Africans and were sold into slavery for X amount of years. Doesn't seem to be free. You have Oriental people who helped with the build of the railroad here in the United States. And I don't believe, as I learned back then in my history books, that neither the slaves or the Orientals were living in Hilton after their 8 to 5 work. So again, who were free? 250 years of freedom. Freedom for who? You have the World Cup that's happening now. And if you're paying attention, you have heard that there's players that are not allowed to come over because of the visa of certain teams. Certain reporters are not allowed to come over because of their visas from other countries did not go through. A referee that apparently couldn't participate. He's one of the top referees throughout the sport. So on and so on. Again, freedom for who? You have soldiers who go and participate in a meaningless war in different theaters, who come back, who are homeless, who are out there begging for food. You figure that if you volunteered, or even those who were drafted, should not have to pay for medication, should not have to pay for food, should not have to pay for housing. And I'm not saying put them in a big luxurious mansion, no. They should be able to have a voucher of a certain amount of money based on today's market and not have to pay for anything if they went and served, whether it be here, stateside, or overseas. Freedom for who? Who are we celebrating the freedom for? I mean, I go to the VA, and because I am working, I have to pay a copay. I did 9 years in the service. An E6, Staff Sergeant promotable. A couple of years later, if I would have stayed in, I would have been an E7, Sergeant First Class. But I have to pay a copay to go to the VA. When I got out, I got a pat on the back. Thank you for your service. Freedom for who? 250 years of freedom for who? I'll say it again for the people in the back. Freedom for who? You guys have a blessed day. Shalom, shalom. Enjoy your freedom.